My name is Kwabena Chenche Henebwati. Many thanks for joining us here on Newsday. So our very first story, and fire has destroyed the girls' dormitory of the Ghana Senior High School in the Eastern region. The situation, we are told, has rendered most of the students homeless since the inferno consumed most of the rooms housing them. Some of the affected students had to sleep in the classrooms while others put up with teachers and colleagues last night. Eastern Regional Correspondent Ndowukofe is currently at the Ghana Secondary School and is joining me on phone with an update on the situation. So, Kofi, good morning. Thanks for joining us. So, tell us about the situation at the Ghana Senior High School in the Eastern region as we speak.
Well, the situation here is that everything in the girls' dormitory, including the girls' dormitory itself, the building itself, has been razed down. It's been completely consumed by the fire. So one couldn't pick anything from any of the rooms. So the situation here is very devastating. It's very bad and a surprise to most of the students because as we speak, as I said earlier on, they are unable to pick just a single thing. They are unable to do that. So they are very, very much traumatized and surprised. And hello?
Kofi, tell me again how they managed to pass the night yesterday after the incident.
Well, most of them had to sleep in the classroom. Some also had to patch with teachers, the female teachers also had to do put up in the assembly hall. That is how they were able to, pass the night.
They slept in the assembly hall?
What else do you do?
Have you been speaking
because
to...
you cannot join the male students.
Indeed.
To pass the night.
I'm sure you have been trying to get some answers from the school authorities as to what alternative arrangements are being made as we speak. What have they been saying? Well,
the school authorities have been tight-lipped on the issue. They do not want to speak to the issue now. They say they're waiting for the Eastern Regional Minister and some officials from NADMO before they will speak. So as we speak now, they've not come forward with information as to what they're doing and what exactly caused the fire outbreak. So they're waiting, and I'm sure, and I've heard that the regional minister will be going to the place this morning. Myself, I'll be joining her to the place to, ascertain exactly what happened yesterday.
Okay, so as things stand now, we do not know the cause of this fire, but we can confirm.
People are attributing it to, a tender strike because yesterday it rained about 4 hours, and whilst it was raining, the block also had to catch fire. So there are rumors that it's a tender strike that caused the fire. But as we speak now, we've not heard anything from authorities, whether the fire service or the school authorities confirming it or not. So let's hold our peace till they do so.
Okay, but no one was hurt anyway.
Nobody has been hurt.
Okay.
But however, there are some 10 students, about 10 of them, if I'm so sure of them, I'm so sure of the number, about 10 of them are currently on admission at the St. Joseph Hospital because upon seeing the situation, they felt very traumatized and they had to, send them to the hospital. Okay,
but upon your arrival at the school this morning, is it business as usual? Are classes going on as if nothing ever happened?
The female students are outside. Some are just searching around the, where the incident happened, trying to, find out exactly what happened. Some are also in classrooms, just sitting there and I thought it's happening.
So no teaching?
Except for the male one.
Right. Kofi, many thanks for that update, and that was Eastern Regional Correspondent Ndowukofe bringing us an update on the situation in the Eastern region. I'm speaking of the Ghana Senior High School. Last night we were told that there was a fire outbreak in that school. In fact, it has totally razed down the dormitory, the girls' dormitory of the school. We are told that 10 students have been admitted at the the government hospital there following the incident. We'll be bringing you a lot more on this, plus some visuals from there. We'll be bringing you live pictures from there pretty shortly as well. But let's put that on hold for now and move on to some other stories. And residents of a town in the Akachi North District of the Volta region have rejected a 3-unit classroom block constructed for them because they say they cannot trust the quality of work done by the contractor. Now, the residents of Ndowukofe made it clear to the district chief executive at the handing over ceremony that the contractor did a shoddy job and will be endangering the lives of their wards if they allow them to occupy those classrooms.
Ndowukofe Basic School is one of the few schools that lack infrastructure in the Akachi South District. The school has only 3 classrooms, the rest hold classes under trees. To bridge the gap, the district assembly decided to construct a 3-unit classroom block for the school and contracted Vidforce Company Limited to do the work. After completing works on the structure within 3 months, which costed about 110,000 Ghana cedis, residents of Ndowukofe are accusing the contractor of not using quality materials for the project. They stated if not for their vigilance, the contractor would have used low-quality wood to roof the building. Some portions of the floor started cracking and wearing off few weeks after the contractor claimed to have finished working on the project. The apron surrounding the building has also developed cracks separating from the main building, while some portions of the structure is also cracking. The residents also stated that the woods used for the windows and doors are not of the right quality and believe the wood would decay within the shortest possible time. According to the residents, their refusal to accept the classroom block is to protect the lives of their children. Peter Dosese is the assembly member for the area.
Doors and windows in this classroom is not good. When contractor came asking the engineer, we're going to invite the contractor to do that windows and doors. If it's accepted well, then we hand over the committee.
In the veranda, and then it started cracking. Yeah, all the windows and the doors are not correct. So we want the contractor to come and finish the work. We cannot accept it if the work is not correct.
That's notwithstanding, the DCE, James Kuno, has promised to bring the contractor back to site to make sure he corrects the defects in the building before the pupils are allowed to use the classroom. He added that until the contractor comes back to site to rectify the defects, the assembly will hold on his outstanding balance for the project. James Gunu also reprimanded the assembly engineer for not doing effective supervision, which had resulted in the defects in the building.
Actually, the community have complained bitterly about quality of work done by the contractor over here. And I agree with them, because most of the things, you need not to be a mason or an engineer to be able to see that this work is not of high quality. And I have seen it myself. And I'm calling on the contractor to come and rectify those defects. And I've also called on my engineers to make sure that those things are rectified. There is an outstanding balance which we are withholding the office for us to be sure that everything is done correctly before his money is given to him.
In a related development, the Akachi North District had been allocated 350 dual desks by the Ghana Education Service, 50 tables and chairs for teachers in the district. The DC, James Gunu, also presented 50 bags of cement to Agomo Agado community towards the construction of a teacher's bungalow. Fred Kwame Asari filed this report.
Let's go on to the phone lines now. We want to speak to the contractor for this particular project. But before we do that, let's speak now to the District Chief Executive of the Akachi North District. I'm speaking of James Gunu, who is on the phone now. Mr. Gunu, good morning. Many thanks for your time on News Desk.
Good morning, and good morning to your viewers.
Right. So, the first thing I would like to find out is, how does this happen? You fail to supervise a project that obviously has stolen a chunk of money, and then at the very last moment you try to hand over the project, and then the residents say, you know what, we do not want it because of the risks associated with it. It's likely this building might even collapse. I mean, How does that play out here?
Thank you very much. The school in question used to be a community-owned school, and the assembly took over barely 6 months ago, and then we decided to construct some schools infrastructure, classroom infrastructure projects for them. So we first awarded the 3-unit classroom, and then we have also awarded another 3-unit classroom. We have taken a school feeding program that the assembly is piloting to that community. What the residents are saying is that the apron that was constructed by the contractor is not of good quality. And I saw it myself. You need not to be a mason or an engineer before you can see it clearly that that aspect was not done properly. Talking about the classroom block itself, there are no the structure itself, but the aprons and then the floor, you see some cracks developing in the floor, and then the apron separating from the main building. So I spoke with the contractor, and he has promised that on Monday he will move to the site and rectify all those defects.
Mr. Gudu, one question I want to ask now is, this project was handed over to you in January. We are in March now, and you were just going to allow people to occupy such a building when clearly you had not done your own assessment of the project meeting the needed specifications?
No, that is not the case, because the project was done by the contractor, and the engineers went to inspect the project and then told us, the engineers came out with their report that there are some pockets of cracks developing on the apron. It is not the main block. So I also received a request from the community saying that in actual fact, the children are studying under dilapidated structure that they constructed themselves, and that they want us to hand over the structure to for the community to be using. And when we went there, later a section of the people came out that no. So the community itself is divided. Should they allow the children into the structure while the contractor comes to do the defect, and the apron is not within the structure, it's outside the structure.
Mr. Gunu, let me hold you on there, because we've been speaking to the contractor this morning. He tells us that even when the project was still under construction, he was forced to allow some of the students use the facility, even when he told you that that was clearly not acceptable, because he was still on this project. He wasn't completed with it. He wasn't done. But you compelled him to allow the students to use the facility, and as such, you can't blame him for any of these things.
The contractor wanted to hand over the structure, and the engineers went to meet him at the site and told him they have even written to him officially that he should rectify this defect before we take over the structure finally. However, I received a request from the community that the children are studying under dilapidated structure, and they would like the children to occupy the structure. And to be frank, the contractor initially did not want us to take over the structure because he wanted to finish it completely before we take over. And he later came to inform me that he has finished the structure. Okay, if he has finished, then let's go and see whether he has finished or not. So when we went to the community, then the community leaders, including the assembly member and the unit committee members, raised objection that should they take over the structure now, the contractor will not come in to rectify those defects.
Okay.
So we should first of all ask the contractor to come and rectify this defect.
And that is what you have done now.
Exactly. That is what we are doing.
That's fine.
And I've called the contractor this morning, and he has given me the assurance that by Monday he will get to the site, and we also have site meeting with him.
Okay.
Before the assembly finally hand over this structure, and I agree with the community leaders, because some of these contractors, the moment you take over the structure, they will not come back to rectify this.
Okay, Mr. Gunu, like you're saying, you've asked the contractor to come fix the problems, and he's promised to come do that on Monday. We'll follow up on Monday and bring viewers a lot more. Many thanks for your time here on News Desk this morning. And that was James Gunu. He's the District Chief Executive for Akachi North in the Volta region, bringing us some clarity on that particular issue. We're taking a break here on News Desk. When we come back, we'll bring you a lot more stories. Stay with us.